This is Tuesday, June 23rd. There are 29 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2026. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
VANUHTEE go.
Oh my god, I love LiveJournal, and my LiveJournal loves me. Current mood is hyperactive, current music, Refuse 73. I love the color scheme, it's pink and purple, it looks dreamy.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm your host, James Riley, and joining me on the podcast, as always, Carrie Dixon.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
And also joining us from the unofficial blog, Aaron Tapkin, who is muted.
Hi, everybody. That's better.
And we are going to have two special guests tonight. Our first special guest from Maps 360 Collective, Jason Klein, the manager, marketing and experiential.
Hello.
Welcome. Hello. Later on, we are going to have Ashley Jex Wagner, Supercell's head of live experience. But first, welcome everyone to SDConCast. We'll take your comments and questions during the show. You can tweet us at SD_comic_con or use the hashtag SDConCast. We will also be keeping an eye on the YouTube live chat if you wish to comment there. But let's get talking to Jason. And Carrie, why don't you kick us off?
So I've told this story before, Jason, but I want to remind you, the very first time that I met you was, I think you were doing like that 70s show or something, like over by the Omni. And I popped over to take a photo, and all of a sudden you come over to me and are like, "Oh my God, Carrie, I've been waiting for you." And I was like, "Who are you? And why have you been waiting for me?"
Yeah, it's I follow. It's like when you're at Comic-Con, you see all the posts going live on social media, and who's covering what. There's the Parks and Cons people. There's the official account. There's so it's always like, great, I want to be covered. Please come over and grab our stuff, get good content. So because that was my second year doing Comic-Con.
Oh, nice.
Our first year was we did Third Rock from the Sun. We had the Red Rambler out there.
Oh, fun. Yes.
Giant Cookie Monster. We had the Sesame Street team there.
Very fun.
Yeah, it's always trying to get better and better each and every year.
Well, I just wanted to remind you of that because every time I talk to you, I think of that story, and we've become friends since then. And I love you and the work that you do. So, but that always makes me happy. Anyway, so you work for Map 360 Promotions, which has done some really cool stuff at the convention. In addition to the ones that we just listed, you guys have done like the Naked Gun pop-up and inflatable last year. You did the Welcome to Dairy ice cream carts last year with the clowns. Your team helped bring Eagly to the Peace Fest Peacemaker activation last year. Like, you've done some really cool stuff at Comic-Con. You really have. And every project is obviously different, but I'm really curious, like, from your perspective, what makes an idea feel right for Comic-Con?
I think Comic-Con has a extremely particular audience. Because when we're like, as much as Comic-Con is one Comic-Con of many over the years, over the course of the year, and there's also all these other big events like South by Southwest, and at the end of the year's Art Basel. So like I'm doing these every week, every month. So it's like when we choose to put something at Comic-Con, it's usually how it lines up with the dates, but also like, is there a fandom behind it? I think is really one of the questions. Or is that the right audience for it? Like there's a lot of titles we're working on that like it doesn't really make sense for the Comic-Con fandom. So that's usually what the checkbox we look for of like, is this the right audience that we're targeting for this? If it's not, then it's like there's plenty of other, like at the same time as Comic-Con this year is Fanatics Fest in New York at the Javits Center. So it's like, is that something that works better for San Diego Comic-Con, or does it work better at like Fanatics Fest at the Javits Center?
Interesting.
One of my favorite things about the things that your team has done is that you tend to bring big ideas that stand out, but maybe even if the budget isn't as big as a full scale activation, you still manage to make it work. And I think the Naked Gun inflatable is kind of a good example of that. It was impossible to miss. It was a lot of fun. It brought a smile to a lot of people's faces. How much of being able to make an impact at Comic-Con really comes down to creativity over scale?
I think that's where our agency kind of as specializes in. It's not just a Comic-Con where we're kind of trying to stretch our budgets. It's kind of all of our events. It's a very startup mentality of how do we reuse something that exists already? How do we bring an idea that may have already been done with a fresh look of it? Like, I'm sure you've seen plenty of inflatables at Comic-Con, but it's how do you do something different that hasn't been seen before, or even just a fresh take on the IP, especially with IPs that are returning every year, like Ninja Turtles. It was like, how do you do something fresh with that? So I think that's always something we're trying to get creative with. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always something that we try to work, because it's either you have the budget, you have the time, or you have I forgot the third part of that triangle, but you never have all three. You only have two of the three.
James, you're on mute.
Now it's my turn to do that.
Yay, I'm not the only one.
Yay. So speaking of Naked Gun, how did that come about? It's not something that we would normally consider like a traditional genre movie at Comic-Con.
I think it was the perfect alignment of timing. Usually we look at the release schedule of all like upcoming movies and releases and try to align it with Comic-Con. Of like maybe one of the earlier ones was like Penguin was obviously earlier, and that came out in the fall. But usually we try to align it like, great, it's coming out in July or it's coming out right in August, so the schedule works out. For Naked Gun specifically, I know that one was one where Paramount wasn't doing a panel. They didn't have their big panel that they usually have. So that was how they were kind of choosing to make a splash instead. Obviously, they have Paramount Lodge that is there for all their other titles. But for their theatrical slate, like Dungeons and Dragons was their big release in 2023. And then every year they usually have some big tentpole release. And then for last year's summer was Naked Gun. So yeah, without a panel, they wanted to go big outside.
So I'm actually curious about this then. What do you think an offsite offers them that a panel might not necessarily?
I think there's two different ways of doing it. The panels are great when you could have the cast there to create that experience. Obviously, we could do a screening and show the movie off. But then you're also limited to we have to fill the theater. Which I know that was something when we did a screening for 2022 was we did the Harley Quinn HBO screening, which because of its rating, we had to do it at 10 p.m. And our biggest worry was filling the theater. So I think you don't have to worry about filling the theater. You get to get as many eyeballs on it as possible.
Yeah.
Which that's another thing when we're doing these kind of projects is how do we expand outside of Comic-Con? Obviously, there's 200,000 people stuffed into San Diego at the same time for Comic-Con, but it's how do we expand past that? How do we make it a cultural moment that gets picked up and people in New York know about it, people internationally learn about it? Which sometimes you could do that with the panels. They gotten really creative recently. Like I know last year they've gotten some cool stuff. Obviously, like the Deadpool one had the big drone show at the end.
Yep.
So it's how do you that's the main thing we're thinking about. How do we make a splash? Sometimes the panel checks that box, sometimes it doesn't.
Absolutely. And I mean, like you're saying, I mean, that inflatable was surely in so many social media posts, like everywhere, in a way that like a panel or a screening might not necessarily have been. So, on this same kind of note, I want to talk about the Welcome to Dairy ice cream carts last year, because I think that was also like just a really fun kind of like photo opportunity for people to be able to like snap photos of like, oh, there's this clown like delivering ice cream in the gas lamp. But the clowns were also really interactive with people. And how important do you think that interactivity is like to making more of an impact?
I think it's the difference between like, there's a reason San Diego Comic-Con is the like one of the higher ones. Like we always get asked by the other Comic-Cons, like the Seattle Comic-Con, the MegaCon in Orlando. We always get asked like, why aren't we there? And it just, there's a different audience and different kind of presence for the crowd, especially with being in San Diego, where you can do the street tactics and get the people walking around. Like even New York, it's a challenge. Like we did one for New York Comic-Con, but it's a lot harder to get that kind of impact because most of the people you're running into in the New York streets are not a part of Comic-Con. They're
They're
just,
New Yorkers.
yeah, exactly. There's random people versus like every single person at the gas lamp area is there for Comic-Con, whether they have a ticket or not to go inside. So you're still able to kind of capture that audience, even if it's a pop-up that you just pop up and you don't even announce where you are. It's just a nice surprise and delight for people walking by. Especially because like when we do those kind of things where we're planning to be on the move, where our exact location isn't really known. You know we're out there generally, but it's still kind of that surprise and delight, which I think like Apple did that last year with the their Pluribus van. I remember we were talking about that. Like it was just kind of knew it was happening, but didn't know where it was. And it was just a surprise and delight of like, great, you found it. It's that scavenger hunt as you're going around. And I think that really also adds to the enjoyment of the culture.
For sure.
Would you mind giving an example or two of something that works in San Diego but wouldn't work in New York, and then also vice versa?
Yeah, I'd say San Diego's great for all of our like, because it's not just a convention center, so we can get really creative with going outside the convention center. Like, great, convention center is the shopping. You go to inside, you can go to all the different booths, meet your favorite artists, shop the different collectibles, and go to the panels. And then I see outside as those offsites. Like, where else do these offsites exist? I can't think of a single, like New York Comic-Con has them outside of on the Javits Center Plaza, but they don't really have them, to my knowledge, at any other con at that capacity. So San Diego is one of those, like you can go to the local, like for Naked Gun, we went to the local coffee shop and we did a free coffee giveaway. For like the Penguin, we did those scratch offs that were around, and that was that scavenger hunt. If we did that in New York, though, it's just you're not hitting that Comic-Con audience. Sure, the Comic-Con audience will come by, but there'll be the regular Joe Schmo that comes in and like, oh, what's this? A freebie? Great. And he walks out, and it's sometimes you get that hit, sometimes you don't. Like we just did I sent Carrie, we just did the House of the Dragon throne at the Garden. And that was specifically targeting the Knicks fan. So every single person walking by is a Knicks fan, but it was also connecting the House of the Dragon audience. So it's New York definitely has the other markets, not just New York. There's obviously like C2E2 in Chicago. There's all these other markets that just, if you're not at the actual convention, it's a lot harder to capture those that specific audience that you want to be in front of.
One of the things that your team did last year was help bring Eagly to Peace Fest. And I'd like to hear about some of the unique challenges of bringing a live animal to the convention.
Yeah, was one of those like cool, like asks, like, can we pull it off? And it was luckily we're close partners with them. We were at the core a sports agency. So one of our partners is like the Philadelphia Eagles. So Eagly the eagle that was there was Challenger, who constantly flies at like the Eagles games. They at the White House. I think he's met. I forgot how many presidents they said he met, but he's like more of a celebrity than some of.
He's like the most famous eagle ever. That's
Exactly.
amazing. Well, but besides Sam the Eagle from the Muppets.
Oh, of
No
course.
shade to Sam, but Eagly was pretty special.
But yeah, there was like I know you guys heard about the plane stuff, but like I had to get him his own hotel room. So he stayed at the Marriott Marquis, skimp out, but like we had to go to the hotel, and like we've never dealt with an eagle before, so I was like, I know dogs are allowed, but I went to the front desk and I was like, hey, like, you know, this, because you had to put a name to each and every room. So I had the rooms for all the handlers, and I went and was like, I don't know what name you want me to put for this one. This is an eagle. I gotta put his name, but he doesn't have an ID when you check in. So this is one of those like funny things that was like, great, we just got him a hotel room. He'll check in. But yeah, I mean the team's very professional with how they obviously they were monitoring his how comfortable he was the whole time. So as much as we wanted everyone to get to meet the eagle, it just didn't work out with how many people we could physically get up to the rooftop to meet him while maintaining the breaks, following like California wildlife law. And yeah, it was a cool experience, and hopefully we get to do something like it again.
That's crazy. So speaking of bringing things to Comic-Con, on a typical timeline, what does that look like for getting the activation ready? I think it's kind of surprising sometimes how quickly they may come together, but what's like the timeline of getting everything ready to be at Comic-Con?
I always like to start the conversations as soon as Comic-Con ends. I'm immediately like, great, guys, what can we do for next year? Oh, I think my food just got here. You just leave it there, thank you. Sorry. I usually have, I'd say, 2 months at most to try to get these live. Sometimes I think the shortest time frame we had was 4 weeks to put something together. But it's usually just trying to work with what are the goals, especially if there's a larger footprint, like how the Penguin was, where the Penguin has the big build out, and then we got to kind of amplify around it with the scratch off tickets, which like obviously not as much of a lift as taking over the nightclub and doing the giant build out. We still a lot of logistics involved with it, but it was still something you're able to fulfill in a shorter time frame.
Absolutely. So on that same note, as you are like planning these, what do you think people would be surprised to learn about like the logistics of it? Like what is for you? I mean, again, every project's different, but like what is?
Let me just quickly.
Yeah. Go. You're fine.
Man's got to eat.
I want to know which project it was that he only had like a small window.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough to do.
That seems like it'd be impossible. Certainly wasn't Eagly. I also want to know what the minibar bill was for Eagly.
All right.
Yes, we have many reader questions about Eagly when we finish.
All right. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. My question is just like what are some of the harder aspects of like planning these that people may not realize?
I think it's my biggest challenge I think I run into is I know how many people are there. I want as many people to experience it as possible. But when like something we could only produce so many giveaways. We'd only get so many people through the door to experience it. So I think that's my biggest challenge, that I'm always trying to get as many people as possible. I know everyone else has the same issue of just throughput, especially, I mean, the stuff I do is less of the big offsites that have those giant lines. But obviously they have the same issue of they're trying to put on a giant experience, but unfortunately, yeah, there's a 6-hour line to get through it. So that's, I think, all of our on the event producing side, we're always trying to get as many people to experience as possible, but also, like, last thing you want is for you to do this big experience, wait in this long line, and then don't have a fulfilling experience. So that's where I think the industry shifted a little bit more towards creating a more valuable experience, even if that means less people get through it, which unfortunately it's not the best option, but it's like the same thing with any other attraction or thing. Like, no one wants to wait in a long line and be like, oh wow, that sucked, because that's also not the conversation we're trying to create. We're trying to create excitement, especially with like these giant IPs that are beloved by so many. There's an expectation just built in there, and we want to meet the fans. We want to make sure everyone walks away from the experience with a smile on their face and be like, great, I'm going to go binge that series, or going to go tune into that, or whatever the IP is, even if it's a non-entertainment brand. I know one of my favorite brands that pops up every year is Old Spice. And it's just like one of those
little some fun stuff, man.
Yeah, it's like how do you walk away and like want to engage with that brand? It's our challenge all the time of how do we get people to walk away with that kind of experience where they feel fulfilled, feel like they got something out of it, especially with like giveaways. Like, we don't want to make cheap stuff that gets thrown in the trash right away. It's a waste on our end, it's a waste on your end. It's so it's trying to find that, like, what do people gonna actually use? What's a giveaway? My favorite one was we did the little skateboards for Ninja Turtles, which I still have a bunch sitting around somewhere. But yeah, little things like that, or even just like the free food stuff is great. On a hot day, you get some free ice cream, or Ninja Turtles was free pizza from Pizza Hut. So I said it's a little bit of everything. We try to think of it all, but sometimes we yeah, I think that answers.
So we've been talking a lot about, offsites, Comic-Con work, but about Comic-Con itself, what about your own personal experiences? Have you gone as just a fan, and do you remember the first time that you went to the con, even if it wasn't as a fan?
Usually I try my best to sneak into things when I'm running around. Sometimes just out of respect for the other people putting on these events, I won't bother them. Being like, hey, can I sneak in real quick while I know there's this multiple hour long line. My favorite one from that I've done so far, I really liked the Gray Man in 2022.
Oh yeah.
Just because that was my first Comic-Con, and that was like a whole new world opening for me of just going around and being like, wow, what is all this? So while working, it was just like going around and being like, wow, you guys have been doing this for how long? And like, just each year was a whole new thing. It was just, I don't know. It's like one of the, like, you never forget your first. That was my first Comic-Con. So that was, I unfortunately didn't get to do Severance. I learned after the fact. But yeah, it was just one of those like, wow, like they spent a lot of money putting on this really cool production. Especially with, you see like I didn't get to do like I saw all the stuff for Alien last year, which looked amazing. Which I got to see from the outside walking around. But it's like just because I'm also an event producer, I see all the work and effort put into it, all the lighting and effects, the fabrication, the staffing. You have to be a well-oiled machine to to make it all work so effectively, especially with all the technical stuff that can go wrong. When we do like custom software, custom interactions, there's always failure points that you have to try to account for. And the people that put these on are the best of the best. So it's always cool seeing what everyone. I'm really excited to see what they're going to put on this year.
The brands that hire you or the brands that you guys work with, what do you think it is about Comic-Con that they like? What do they tell you that they want to tap into? Why are the audiences at Comic-Con so valuable to them?
I think it's about tapping into the existing fan base and then kind of giving back to the fans. I think there's multiple different tactics that we go across the board, because it's when we go, we'll figure out like, right, are we trying to get new people or go into the existing fan base? Because sometimes the existing fan base is what you want. You want the people that are going to come in their own cosplay. Like when we did Harley Quinn, we were outright picking people out of the crowd of who was dressed like either from the DC universe or just who was dressed like Harley to invite them to the panel. I think you want the passionate fans who are going to be excited and spread the word, because I think that's also what it leads to. It leads to kind of that word of mouth marketing, where they're going around about, look at this amazing experience I did. Where I feel like if you do that with someone who isn't really a fan, they're going to casually go to it, but you don't really get that amplification of like, wow, look at this amazing thing I did. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, I went to Comic-Con. And then you might be in like a photo album of a bunch of stuff. But if you really tap into the true fandom of that IP, I think you could really, especially when like those large Reddit groups and Facebook groups of like whatever IP it is. Let's say it's the Marvel. Like if it's a Marvel thing, everyone's posting about it online and sharing. I know the thing that's been on my feed has been the House of the Dragon team. They did a giant dragon flying over UK of this drone that they made. And it's like just this crazy, like, how do you up the level? And I think Comic-Con is where these brands are trying to up the ante, and that's how it gets spread. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why Comic-Con is a continuous target for when we're going to all of our events. But it's also just the foot traffic. As long as we go where the people are. The worst thing we want to do is spend all this money, do this big event, and then no one shows up. That's just like where do we go wrong? Like, did we misalign this? So we're always trying to just be where the people are and meet the fans where they are as well.
So what are the trends that you have seen in the activations over the last few years? Like, has there been anything changing, or has it just been like enhancing the things that are already there?
I mean, there's obviously been a massive shift towards AI integrations. I keep seeing how AI is kind of being used. It gets harder with the brand's IP stuff because no one wants that, I'll use the word slop, for kind of AI stuff. So I usually try to advise away from it, just because it's just one of those like if there's real artists you could do with stuff, like let's use the real artists when we have like fabricated stuff. Like we just did sand sculptures for the Master of the Universe movie. We had some sand, like we had I think 4 sand sculptors building this 15-foot tall sculpture. So like little things like that are the people want to engage in things that are catch their eye. So I think I like physical, tangible stuff you could feel. The digital stuff is cool, but I think more people are willing to engage with stuff that they could see and touch and feel. So like even any kind of physical props that we could include in it to sure, like think about like a green screen. If you go to a green screen, you don't know what the digital effect is. You have to look on a screen to even see what the output is. Versus if someone builds out a giant set that you stand in. Like just think about like Peace Fest last year with you go in, you feel the music's playing, you feel the I'd say the aura of everyone around there having fun. There's the lighting, there's just a different thing about the physical interaction versus
The vibes.
exactly the vibes.
Vibes.
Versus just digitally great. It's a
Yeah.
digital background overlay, and it looks cool on the output, but it's all about the experience and how they make you feel, because that's ultimately what's going to last with you. People will forget what they did, but they won't forget how they felt.
That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. So before we get into our reader questions, I mean, I'm very aware that you have NDAs, but is there anything you can tease about this year at Comic-Con?
We got a lot of cool stuff planned. I'm excited to bring it live. Yeah, a lot of cool properties. I think that's most I could say.
That's
but yeah,
okay.
back. Yeah, we're also just helping out, similar to Peace Fest, just helping out with other activations as well. So I'm excited to get that live.
We cannot wait to see what you guys are up to. So we do have a couple of reader questions. JP wants to know, do you happen to know what kind of room service did Eagly get? And was it gummy worms?
I'm going to say yes. No. that was my room service last year. We left Eagly. He had his own private space. We want to make sure he was had his space privately. But yeah, I don't know what they eat. I couldn't tell you. I assume protein.
Protein. There we go.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. All right. Amy asked, have there been any last minute activations that you're worried you wouldn't be able to pull off, but then were?
No.
Okay.
We have great production partners, great local partners. So we're already used to. This isn't like a Comic-Con only thing. It's all year round. We're always getting last minute requests. The House of the Dragon one I sent you was a week.
Oh my God.
It was one of the Knicks won. What can we do?
I just have some logistical questions. First of all, how big is your team?
We're 20 people.
20 people. Okay. And like, how many projects would you say you guys think you have in the works at any given moment?
On the experiential only side, I'd say maybe 30.
Jesus, that's a lot. Wow.
Sounds amazing. Wow.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think
hats off to you guys.
Comic-Con is like 5 right now, I think.
Ooh. Oh, see, that's a little
There you go.
Teaser.
Yeah.
Little teaser for
Tease.
2026. Okay.
Here we go. Well, that's fun. You may not be able to answer this, and that's absolutely fine. Let me preface it with that. But No Way Jose asked, what's a pop-up that didn't get approved for some reason?
It's not really that it doesn't get approved. I think a lot of stuff goes to the ideation stage, or like the pitch phase. And either we would move it to a different location. Especially for like I would love to work on titles that are coming out in December at Comic-Con, but sometimes it's just it doesn't fit with the promotional schedule. So it's, if you ever want a title at July and it's not, you don't see it there, it's mostly just because the calendar just didn't align with, or just the budget was just didn't make sense. Unfortunately, we always do have to justify the spends for certain projects. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And we talk a lot about the like promotional window as well. Like I feel like over the years it's gotten shorter and shorter for Comic-Con, you know, like it used to be like anything in the next year is fair game, and these days it's like if it's not out of the next 3 months, odds are it's probably not coming. Yeah.
I blame the streaming services for that. I think there used to be this old industry standard of the theatrical release, then to the digital release, then to the physical release. And it's the physical release is kind of went poof. Mm-hmm. And even the digital phase is like not too many people are even buying the media digitally anymore because they'll just wait for it to go to streaming. So it's the life cycle of the movie has kind of changed and shifted to the point where it's also even just the streaming services are their windows are a lot shorter because they also have so many more releases. The theatrical window was 20, maybe 30 releases a year for some of these studios. But if you look at something like a Netflix, where they have 300, 400 titles a year, the calendar gets pretty stacked very quickly. So it's one of those shifts in the industry where the team working on that big title that you want to come out is also working on the title for next week and the week after that. So it's one of those like just shifting in what we're currently working on as we go through the schedule.
Absolutely. Well, I cannot wait to see what you guys are up to at Comic-Con this year. I'm very certain that I will see you somewhere, Jason. And for anyone who wants to see more of your team's work, where should they go?
We mostly keep up on Instagram, map360co. That's where I mostly post the stories on that, of what's the latest and greatest. But yeah, that's where I'll probably be posting most for Comic-Con as we go through it.
Perfect. Well, go check them out, guys. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jason. I really appreciate you hopping on today.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Excellent. Bye.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
My camera is doing something weird.
Yeah, your camera is frozen, but
you don't move.
You're deep in thought.
Yes, I am very deep in thought for the rest of the show. But we have our next guest ready to go.
Yay.
And let us introduce Ashley Jex Wagner, Supercell's head of live experience.
Hello.
Hi,
Ashley.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Big fan of the SDCC blog. This is my 18th Comic-Con this year.
What?
I know,
oh
right? Right? So I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh. I immediately want to know like more about this. Like, has it all been for work or like, do you go as a fan at all?
So I, my first few years I went as a fan, starting in 2009 or 2008 year. But I used to work for Adult Swim Cartoon Network. I brought all of the crazy fun that Adult Swim did at Comic-Con from 2011 until 2022.
Oh my God. That could be a whole episode of questions that we would have.
Absolutely.
Your brain. We could, woo.
Absolutely. And I'm like, this immediately explains to me what like you guys have been doing such amazing work with GDX, because I'm like, because they do. Yeah, I get it. This is great. We love it.
Yeah. So excited to be talking with you guys, talking about my favorite time of year, Comic-Con.
Absolutely. So before we dive into this, for anyone who is not listening, Supercell is the mobile gaming company that has brought some super fun activations over the last couple of years. You guys did that Clash of the Clans one a couple years ago with the bathrooms, which I thought was just like so wild and crazy. And then last year you brought the Brawl Stars Star Park out on the barge, which everyone like absolutely loved. And you did like the street team last year, like just amazing work on you guys' end. Love it. But for anyone who's not familiar outside of that, can you just tell us a little bit about Supercell and what you do and your games?
Yeah, of course. So Supercell is a mobile gaming company. We make some of your favorite mobile games, including Clash of Clans, Brawl Stars, Heyday. Heyday just celebrated its 14th birthday last week. And we have a few players all over the world, about 290 million of them to be exact,
Wow.
every month. So, we really have one mission, and that's to make great games and make sure that our games are played for years and remembered forever. And my role doing live experiences, I get to connect communities, I get to deepen belonging, and I get to really deliver on that remembered forever portion of our mission statement. So it is something I've spent my whole career doing. I love fans, I love fan communities, I love Comic-Con. So this is exactly where I want to be, doing this for audiences who really are well deserving. So that's what drives me and why I do this work. And I love being at a mobile gaming company. I'm also obsessed with our games, so that helps too.
It probably doesn't hurt. That probably doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
Your team first came to Comic-Con in 2024. Is that correct? And that
correct. So that was actually before my time at Supercell, but
Okay.
I actually did go to that activation just as a fan. So it was put together by our entertainment and partnerships team alongside Jack Morton. And it really started as just a really interesting insight that 50% of our players had admitted to playing our games in the bathroom. So
we were wondering the genesis of the idea, and now you're connecting all these dots for us. And
yeah, so it was based on an
making sense.
insight, and that kind of snowballed into this amazing immersive bathroom experience. So it was fully set within each of our games: Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, all wrapped around the amazing world of both games, and it was solving one of the biggest problems that we have at San Diego Comic-Con. Where do you find a clean bathroom that you can use? Which I know everyone has their secret spots. I have mine. Maybe I'll tell you guys after this.
Okay, so I'm the disembodied voice. My camera's decided to take a vacation, basically. What made your team decide that Comic-Con was somewhere you really wanted to have a presence? And I know the team started before you were there, but why is Comic-Con the thing where you want to have a presence?
Comic-Con is the ultimate place for fans and supporting fans. And I think that you think about, how do you become relevant in pop culture? Where do you go to test out ideas and do things that are a little bit left of center? And the best place to test things like that is San Diego Comic-Con, because you have an audience of people who are looking for things to do. They want to see, what other people are doing, but also they really genuinely want to connect with the things that they love and find new things to love. And so as someone who's been to Comic-Con for almost 2 decades, for me, there's no greater joy than going to a place where you have a audience of people who are looking to connect. And there's no better place, in my opinion.
So last year, your team went bigger than you had before. You guys did so much. You did like that crazy street team, which we'll get to, but you also did that giant activation out on the barge behind the convention center. And I'm just kind of curious, how did that activation in particular come about?
Yeah, I can give a little bit of a window into our brainstorming process, but very much it was rooted in the idea of testing a live experience. Very much we believe that our games belong in the world of location-based entertainment. You think about the Minecraft experience, Stranger Things experience, Squid Games, the stuff that Netflix is doing and Hasbro. And we wanted to explore some of these entertainment opportunities for our games. So it started from the foundational idea of, can we bring an opportunity to test an experience that could scale into multiple locations? Could it be a tour? Could it travel the globe after San Diego Comic-Con? So it started as a brainstorm session. It just started as an idea. We knew we wanted to do Brawl Stars, and we work with great partners, GDX Studios. I have worked with them for many, many years, doing activations at San Diego Comic-Con. Came on board as a partner to help us bring a concept to life. And very specifically, we had a brainstorming session in fall of 2024, and it was just, what's the most wild, unexpected idea we can think of for the world of Brawl Stars? And the game is set in Star Park. It's a island destination where everything went wrong many years ago, and the park's been closed to the public for years, and there are employees and even guests still stuck inside the park. And so one of the post-it notes in our vision quest said, I want to build an island and make Star Park an island. And we were like, that's crazy. That's kind of unexpected. How would we actually do that? And we got on a call with our friends at GDX, and they said, we have this idea. We want to build an island. And we went, how is this like brain melding happening? Maybe that's when you work with someone as long as we have that those come up. But it started from there, and it snowballed, and it went through many iterations and many changes and growing and shrinking and trying to figure out how we're going to do this. And we did it. And I still can't believe it happened, because it took years off my life figuring out how to make all that work. But
what were some of the logistical challenges?
Building anything on water is hard. That full stop. That's probably the biggest learning. When you have a very set footprint. We had 6,000 square feet. It was actually 2 barges that were brought together, and all the reinforcement to make them not sway or shift was very much a feat of engineering. I don't recommend it. But also, when you think about, just the logistics of doing an event in Comic-Con in general, put it on water and it makes it 6 times more difficult. So we couldn't expand our space. Shipments were very difficult. If we had to set up things with a crane, that became difficult. We actually made a mascot suit for our character Spike, who is a lovable cactus who doesn't talk. But we realized we had made the costume too large and it would not fit through the marina door. And so he go on the barge, but he stayed on the Embarcadero and delighted fans, which was really fun and really special. So building on water, we did it. It was hard. If anybody has any aspirations of doing that, definitely reach out to GDX. They learned a lot in doing it. I don't know if I would willingly do it again.
Amazing. Well, despite those logistical challenges, you guys managed to pack so much into that offsite. There were so many different stations. Did you have a favorite aspect of what you all created?
Oh man, I genuinely love when you start to feel the world becoming real. And for me, we had live actors in the space, in character. We had a whole story where we were onboarding people into this amazing trip of a lifetime to Star Park. And once I saw our actors in costume, in character, interacting with fans, there is absolutely no greater joy to me. That's when it became real. That's when we realized this is something special. So that was probably my favorite addition. And very intentionally, we made sure every single employee, everybody working the event, you were in character. If you were in Star Park, you were an employee of Star Park. We called them fun enforcers because at Star Park, fun was mandatory. And so everything kind of had this very snarky tone to it. You could tell that there was something amiss inside the park, but everything was fine. Everything was fine. And it was very much our desire to give everybody the best experience possible while everything is slowly devolving into chaos around us. So it's fun.
Sounds like. Well, let's switch and talk about the street team who brought a ton of energy to the gas lamp. Why did you decide to add a street team?
And so that all came together with our America's regional marketing team. They worked with a company called Unobtainium to put together the opportunity. And it's because we wanted to bring the game not just to our live experience test that we were doing, but across San Diego. And we wanted to bring that mischief of Spike to the city at large. And so as part of it, we had street teams going around the Gaslamp Quarter, the Embarcadero, creating fun challenges that if you participated, you got any host number of free swag. And then we also had a location in front of the Omni, which was our crying fountain as a billboard, but it was crying tears, and we were giving it away as distilled water. Don't worry, no fountains were harmed in the making of this water. It was very much purified water in an aluminum can, but you could get free water. You could throw water balloons at it, and it was a really great activation. So our America's Regional Marketing team, they brought all of that to life. It really was just another way of kind of extending this amazing world of the game across San Diego during Comic-Con. And then even inside the convention center, we had a panel. Fans showed up in costumes and cosplay. They had thousands of questions about the lore and characters, and we got to reveal a new brawler. And so it really was just an amazing week connecting with fans new and old. So
I think you might be underselling the street team a little bit here, though, Ashley, by saying fans could participate in challenges. They were asking fans
what do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
They were asking fans to do things like shave off half an eyebrow, like paint their face, like crazy things.
They were very unexpected.
It was amazing. Yeah. So that's kind of my question is like, were there like, what sort of discussions were there about like what they were allowed to ask? I guess.
I mean, I can't share too much, but it more was like, we want to go unexpected. We want to bring the mischief and the mayhem to life in a compelling way. There were waivers involved.
For sure.
And people participated willingly. There was no unwitting participation, but very much we wanted to create that spirit of the game. And so I think it was more centered around, how can we create challenges that would be fun and encourage people to want to engage, and how far is too far. I always used to say this in previous roles is the audience will tell you. And so
yes.
If you set the bar here, they will take it here. And so we had a lot of conversations about that, of where to set the bar so that our fans could co-create with us. So
absolutely. And we loved it. Honestly, like one of my favorite things that like came out of Comic-Con last year is one of my friends like posted a photo on social of like with half his eyebrow gone and like his face completely painted. He was like, the things I do for a bucket hat at Comic-Con.
You know what?
I was like, yep. That's Comic-Con.
Put your head from the sun, shade.
That's right.
In search of shade, water, and a clean bathroom. That's really Comic-Con's all about.
What? Yeah. What more could you want?
What more could you want? But yeah, it was a lot of fun seeing that come to life, and our America's Regional Marketing team who put that together with Unobtainium, they did such an amazing job bringing the spirit of the game to life. We had trolley wraps going around the city. It really did feel like Brawl Stars was ubiquitous in San Diego, which was very much the goal. And I think a lot of people were like, what is Brawl Stars? What is this? And I think showing up in unexpected places is very much what we're about. So
I think that it's interesting that you mentioned that people were asking, what is this? Because as you were explaining everything and talking about everything, I was wondering if how do you balance between doing something where you can find new customers and honoring the customers and the fans that you already have?
Yeah. So a easy way to approach that is, who is your audience? Who is this really for? And for us, working at Supercell, our fans come first. And so first and foremost, we need to deliver an experience that they can be proud of and we can be proud of. And so for us, we really take that stewardship seriously. And so we wouldn't put anything out there that we wouldn't, feel that our fans would really enjoy. And then the nice, part of creating things like that is they like to bring their own friends and their own family members along for the ride. And so, the big challenge we have is how do we make sure we're creating something that is genuinely going to satisfy our core audience, but then anybody going through the experience can also find things to enjoy about it and maybe be encouraged to download the game, check it out, see what this world is about. A great story is a great story. An entertaining experience is an entertaining experience. It doesn't matter where it generated from. A PC game, a mobile game, a board game, it really doesn't matter. As long as the experience is fun, the spirit is there, the tone is there, and you're creating something that can truly be a delightful experience overall. So we approach it with multi-level engagement. We always think about what's going to satisfy a skimmer, a swimmer, or a diver. You think about the deep dive that fans love to do into the lore and the characters and the if you know, you know. People who might be a little bit in the middle, and then people who have absolutely no awareness of what it is. And so you think about all of the touch points you can create across an experience. You want to definitely hit at least those 3 levels. But it starts with our fans.
You back to the street team members, you had some that were in inflatable costumes, and we were staying down near the Omni, and we could see them, the spikes coming in and out, changing and marching in and out all weekend long. And what are some? It makes me wonder, what are some of the challenges of like working with actors? You said you also had actors on the barge. They all have to have roles. What are some of the challenges of getting those people into those roles?
Do you mean getting into character or physically into those costumes?
Both. Actually, both. Because that's a good question about that costume. Yeah,
exactly. I will say wearing any type of large scale costume, whether it's inflatable or actually a large build out suit, it's very challenging, especially in the heat. You can only be in those costumes for so long. You have protective vests on. They're usually cooling vests that have water pumping through it. There are fans inside those units. And so for us, first and foremost, we want to find people who have experience with this type of work because it is very challenging. We always hire handlers and people to make sure that their safety is taken care of first and foremost. And then we have pretty lengthy rehearsals. You actually have to embody the character, the general kind of scale of movement, testing the costume and feeling how it moves, because once you're out in the wild, it's very difficult to get back to your starting point. So you need your guide to help you along the way, make sure to look out for you, but also you start to understand just how much you can move in a suit like that, and how big your movements need to be in order to kind of get across the character that you're portraying. Spike was our main character again, very easy. He doesn't talk. So, it was a lot of physical gestures and ways of movement. But we worked with a really amazing team at Unobtainium who brought in the right people for the job and really embodied those characters. Same with our street team performers. They had a very loose interactive script. They had dialogue and things that they wanted to kind of put out there, but ultimately we were looking to create a tone. And so for our street team members, it was very much more about, how can they create, the right tone that we're hoping to achieve. And the rest was just their own personalities and spin that they put on top of it.
Well, speaking of the right team, I wanted to read this comment in our chat real quick because I think it's fun and I think it speaks to their general attitude. Iron Soul said, I remember sitting in the Omni and they came into the lobby to change shifts, but before they did, they started Congo dancing around the lobby. So I love that. Even between shifts, they were just
having fun. So we're here to surprise and delight. And there's nothing greater when you see a whole chain of spikes walking through the lobby of a hotel during Comic-Con. You're like, yep, I'm in San Diego. It's July.
So speaking of being able to see things like that, are there any moments or interactions from last year that really stand out?
Oh man, every interaction I had with a fan directly. I think my favorite moment by far, and I talk about it a lot because it really meant a lot to me. And I know it meant a lot to the team who worked the event that we put together. There was a family from the San Diego area. They're called the Plot Twist family. They came out to Star Park. All 5 of their kids were dressed in costumes. They made their costumes themselves. And they were one of the first people in line on the first day that we opened. And that family, they waited for many hours because they didn't have an advance ticket. They just had standby access. And when we saw them, we brought them inside. We made sure that they had an amazing time. We connected them with some of our community team members. We shot content with them, and very much it just made our whole experience seeing that family and how they interacted and engaged with each other. And then we discovered that the family, one of their kids had recently recovered from a bout with cancer. And they had played Brawl Stars during his treatments. And so it was something that brought them together as a family. And so hearing their story, getting to meet them, I still am connected with them on Instagram. It's just been really amazing to see what this game means to so many people across the world. We had at the longest point a 7.5-hour wait in our standby line, which as an organizer, you never want. But we did our best to make sure people knew what the time queue would be. We had our community team members going and walking the line and passing out some giveaway items and swag. We were giving away water when we could. But it really was challenging to meet the demand, that we were only there for 4 days, and we wanted to try and get as many people through as possible. And unfortunately, we could only get so many people through. So, but hopefully we get to do this again and again. So, that's part of the joy of building live experiences. The goal is very much of how can we have locations that are open for longer periods of time that can travel the globe.
Absolutely. And when we wrap this up, I'm going to read some of the comments in our chat. But I mean, across the board, everything that I've heard anyone say about last year's activation, including our team, was like, it was just so good. Your team did an amazing job. So even though it was a long wait, like there's long waits for everything at Comic-Con, everybody that I've seen feels it was well worth it. So good job.
Thank you. Very much a team effort. We had great partners. We have an amazing creative team in entertainment and partnerships, our franchise development team. So big shout out to Katie Smith, Nick Kondo, Michael Gurman and their team. But we worked with Secret Cinema for the live actors, GDX Studios as our lead agency partner, Future Colossal Studios, who helped us build our Star Rail, which was a 4D attraction ride in the experience, and a host of other partners, including Unobtainium, Pinnacle. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. But it takes a village to build an island. My colleague, Michael Gurman, coined that phrase, and it kind of became our rallying cry of just this amazing group of people who are just wanting to bring joy to the world.
Yes.
And such a wonderful spirit. And it's great to hear that people had such a great time because we had a lot of fun making it. So, and seeing it.
Absolutely. So on this note, I really feel like your team has done such a good job at Comic-Con of just breaking through the noise. Are there any things that you how do you approach Comic-Con in that way? How do you say I want to do something that's really surprising?
Yeah, interesting question. And this is something I think, as an organizer and someone who's been doing Comic-Con for as long as I have, it's kind of like every year, it's like you get a fresh, fresh plate. I could go any number of directions. And for me, I very much think, okay, what's something that's not been done before? That usually where it starts. What's going to be interesting? I get very bored very easily, and so I want to try something new. And so, you look at, what do audiences want? What is the primary need? Why are people coming to Comic-Con? What are they looking to get out of it? I think, so much on the brand side, you come in with an outcome that you're hoping to achieve, and usually it's, how do we break through the noise? How do we stand out in a compelling way? Which ultimately is, how do we get additional sales? How do we make sure that we're like growing our MAU, or whatever the goal is on a business sided metric? But ultimately, it's, what do fans want? What do they want? They want to have fun. They want to, be feeling like they've been taken care of. They want to connect with other people. They want to feel like they belong to this moment of collective awe. And so always starting from that positioning of what's going to be something that's not been done, what's going to be fun about it, who is it really for, and are you taking care of people? And if you hit those notes with an idea that everybody in the room goes, oh my gosh, that's it, then you're onto something special. And we definitely felt that with the Star Park idea. I think all of us were terrified by the idea, because it had never been done, building a theme park on a floating barge and putting it in San Diego Bay, and all the logistical challenges that come with it. And very much there was a moment where we were like, should we even do this? Is this too crazy? And we all agreed it was worth trying. And that I directly attribute to Supercell's culture of celebrating failure. They make it very safe to try things out, do it with intention, do it with insights, do it with, a good head on your shoulders of the decisions that you're making, and do it together. But ultimately, if it doesn't go to plan, understanding the reasons why, so that everyone across the company can learn from it. And we all felt it was worth the risk. We knew that, it was something that we felt would stand out, and it did in a big way. And that was definitely something that we don't have a crystal ball. We couldn't foretell the future. We had a good inkling that it would go that direction. But it's a risk. And so I think companies who say they want to be bold, who want to show up in a compelling way, who want to create things for fans, maybe lean in and find out exactly what fans want, and give fans what they want. It's that simple.
I'll just say that does seem pretty simple.
I think I've been enough to San Diego, and I've seen a lot of activations where it's like, who is this really for? Who is this really for? I think just asking that spicy question and like really diving in to who you're trying to reach, the audience that you're trying to target, and build an experience that leans into what they want to get out of it, aligned with your outcome that you're hoping to achieve. So it just requires a little bit more strategic rigor, I think, in the planning phase.
I love that. Well, we do have a couple of reader questions, and I want to read a couple of reader comments, if that's okay.
Great.
So Mike asked, are all the actors local, or do they bust them in from all over?
That is a great question. So we actually work with local staffing agencies for partnering with the performers. So it is a combination of people from across the San Diego metro area, but also people who just want to be performers during San Diego Comic-Con. So some of the performers came from all over the US, specifically for that activation. That said, longer running activations, typically you'll use people from the local community.
Makes sense. And then JP asked, did you have any time to check out any of the other activations or offsites last year?
I did. I snuck into, well, I didn't sneak. I went into the King of the Hill activation because I love that show, and it was so fabulous and so well done. And I also went to Adult Swim to see my old stomping grounds and say hello to everybody, and had an amazing time dancing with cat ears on my head with all my new colleagues and old colleagues, which was really special.
Love it. Perfect.
What was the last year you worked on Adult Swim?
Oh, we didn't work on Adult Swim. I just used to work there. And
Okay.
our location for Star Park was directly across from on the green.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I wanted to read a couple of comments about last year's event. Damien said, Brawl Stars Barge, say that 3 times fast, was amazing. David Desmalchian and his family were in our group. Also love getting chocolate from the street team. So that's fun. And
we did a partnership with Feastables, and we did a Brawl Star chocolate bar that we gave away all across the Embarcadero and at our location. It was a great partnership.
Love it. And then Iron Souls said the monorail ride to the park as the intro was pretty crazy for an offsite. I was super impressed. I was too. You guys did a great job. And then Evan said Brawl Stars Ranks is one of the best activations I've ever attended. The staff were top notch.
Amazing.
And yeah, we've got lots of other comments in our chat about how great it was. So again, just want to say your team did an amazing job last year. But as we look to 2026, is there anything that you can tease about this year?
Oh, goodness. I think look out tomorrow. We might be dropping a little announcement of something that we'll be doing in San Diego. I cannot say more than that, other than to look out across our socials tomorrow. But we definitely took a lot of learnings that we had last year with Brawl Stars. We wanted to explore a new game this year. And we also wanted to put something together that could extend even beyond San Diego Comic-Con. So we are going to be announcing something that will be open for the summer in San Diego. So you don't have just Comic-Con weekend. It'll be there through Labor Day. So look out tomorrow.
Very fun. And that will also be up on our site as well, everyone. So yes. All right. Well, for anyone who wants to find more of Supercell's work, where can they find you guys?
We are in your pocket on your phone, Apple or Android devices. You can find us in the Google Play Store, in the Apple iOS Store, and online as well. I think we have a website.
You do.
So, but I am a huge fan of our games. I play quite regularly. So if you see Jack shine in any of your games, know that that's me. And I'm fairly good. So.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight, Ashley. And we will definitely be keeping an eye out tomorrow.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the work you guys have done for years. It's just such a pleasure to be talking with you. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
You guys can't see me. I don't know why I waved.
I'm imagining
I don't know why
it.
you waved either. Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to stay on and get into the news. So let's
Tomorrow.
just dive.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. It's only a day away, you know.
Oh, is this my cue to sing? Do I need to sing?
No.
Well, it's certainly not mine.
Oh, Lord. All right. Let's get into the
Yes.
news. All right. So we are like less than a month away from Comic-Con, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's scary. But one of the surest signs that it is almost time for Comic-Con is that the Gaslamp banners have started to go up. So Evic on our team was able to spot them first, and it is not shocking in the slightest for the Avengers Doomsday. They're green and subtle, and I think they're really pretty. They are subtle.
And there's already people trying to get them. There's already people
Oh my God.
I'm taking
Oh my God.
wire strippers and wire cutters. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys.
Oh my God. There are usually more than one design.
Yep.
So I'm really curious to see if we get more soon. There's a big I think, pharmacy kind of conference, like drug.
Oh yeah, the some sort of biotech.
Yeah, it's like bio, I think, like is the name of the conference. So I have a feeling that we probably won't see any new banners for a little while until that starts heading out, and then I think like we get Esri like right after, so it might be a while. But there's usually more than one design, so TBD.
So we might see something else. All right. We also, somebody else on our team, Sean and Carmel from Parks and Cons, did their Beginner's Guide to San Diego Comic-Con video. They did tips and what to expect. It's a great video. Even if you've been there before, even if you've been there 19, 20 times, it's always good to have all these reminders, line management, how autographs work, how the signings work, finding swag, avoiding rookie mistakes. Their beginner's guide, which is good for novices as well. That's something to check out on our site.
Yes. And the other sign that Comic-Con is near, badges have started shipping. And so on the badge this year, it is Paramount again, but this time they used something besides the color blue.
Thank you, Paramount.
And so it is Star Trek Strange New Worlds with the Enterprise hovering over the convention center. And also we have seen, so the coloring is purple, but we have also seen that there is like a gradient if you have multiple days in preview night. So the badges are actually really cool looking. But let's also give the warning again, please do not have your name shown if you show your badge online. Cover up your name or just cut it out of the photo.
So just real quick, because I do think like if you're unaware, that's like a really strange thing to say. But basically what has happened every single year is that like if you post a photo of your badge with your name showing, like somebody might steal your photo, use it to post a badge for sale somewhere like eBay or Craigslist or who knows where, like, and because you cannot sell a badge, that's a big no-no. So if Comic-Con sees that, what they do is they don't investigate. Like they see it's your name and they just cancel your badge and the badge of everyone else in your group. So again, this happens every single year. They couldn't care less like that you were not the one actually selling the badge if it's your name on it. So just don't freaking post your name showing. Please. Please. We beg
Just
of you.
don't.
Just don't.
Certainly don't fan out the badges of your entire 6-person family and show everybody's name, please.
Please don't. Please don't. Yeah.
Please.
We did see that today.
We did.
All right. So the trolleys, there are even more trolley wraps and more still to come. But Crunchyroll has several wraps this year celebrating different properties. They've got like My Hero Academia specific ones, and then other ones that are celebrating multiple properties, including like Chainsaw Man and Blue Lock and so much more. So stay tuned for more trolleys. Speaking of trolleys, the MTS has announced their discounted passes. They announced them. They haven't quite gone on sale yet, but they have announced them. They're going to have a 5-day, 4-day, 3-day, 2-day pass discounted from the regular prices. There is a slight price increase from last year for the 5-day and the 4-day pass. They are $23 and $18.50. But the 3-day and the 2-day haven't gone up at all. They are going to be offering expanded services again, special event trolley line starting on Thursday. There's also some new park and ride options for those who want to park and ride the trolley in. That's always a good option. But it's Monday, July 6th that those passes go on sale. So on your Pronto app. And they did say that they would not be having any physical event cards this year. I know we all miss the old event cards, but unfortunately, it's just going to be through the Pronto app. So Monday, July 6th, you can get your discounted ones. I still have mine in my wallet. I was going through my wallet over the
really?
weekend. I was like, oh, I still have my Pronto card. That's not still good.
So next up, we have Harbor Drive is closing, which is the new annual thing that has been happening for about 8 years now. it will be closed for Wednesday through Sunday at the entire length of Harbor Drive in front of the convention center. And the dates, the times are from 2 to 10 on Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday through Saturday, and then 7 to 8 p.m. on Sunday. And just remember that if you have parking at the convention center, you can enter. You just have to show your parking permit that you have. And of course, only badged members will be allowed to get onto the convention center property. But if you don't have your badge yet, of course, you're going to show your paper, your registration, whatever you may have if you don't have your badge mailed to you or for any other reason. So as long as you have that, you can get on property, get your badge, whatever's happening. So it's really cool that we now have that whole area to ourselves, basically.
Unless there's a train coming, and then, and then you're still stuck there and you can't cross. But yeah, I've really loved the experience down there since they've started closing Harbor. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
One of the big news stories that came out today was the comic book publisher Z2 and put out their entire schedule, their entire signing schedule. So they do a lot of books with musicians. We had announced previously that they were going to have Mike McCready of Pearl Jam. He has a new graphic novel coming out, but they put out their full signing schedule, and it is epic. I guess I don't know of another way to put it. So there's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's signings every day. We've got Mike McCready is on Thursday. Mark Maron and Box Brown are going to be doing Mark's WTF book. They're going to have a signing for that. Spencer Charnas of Ice Nine Kills is going to be doing some signings. Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden is going to be doing some signings. There's David DeSmalchin is going to be doing some signings. So there's a crazy amount of signings, and it's so brave of them to announce this so early, because it feels like it's just like ripe for like somebody to go on tour or break a leg.
Oh,
or,
absolutely.
Something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know. I was saying to Aaron earlier, I was like, I feel like we normally hear from Z2 like 2 days before the convention, and they're like, can we like piecemeal this?
Yes.
So this is amazing.
Yes.
But I do just want to say, so earlier, the press release listed Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden as only signing for 15 minutes. We did confirm that was incorrect. He is signing for a full hour from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So...
And that one's on Friday. And although I kept thinking that would be so rock and roll if he was like, I'm in and out, 15 minutes, that's all you're getting.
10 people.
Yeah,
Peace
10
out.
people, no cowbells. Nobody bring a cowbell.
Peace out. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would have been rock and roll.
Well, what is not rock and roll is that Hallmark is not attending the convention this year. They confirmed today. They are doing online only starting in October with 2 exclusives. And then they gave us a lovely quote that is very reminiscent, in my opinion, of Sideshow's old quote that I make fun of all the time. Hallmark has long been part of fans' convention traditions, and we're excited to continue that connection in a new way this year. By bringing these ornaments to Hallmark.com, we're making it easier than ever for fans to discover and collect these special designs. Sure. So, yeah, no Hallmark presents this year, which we're pretty bummed about. But they might be back.
I mean, they had that great panel. I wonder if does this mean they won't have a panel? I get it. I mean, people got to try new stuff. I
totally. Totally. Yes. And again, they might come back. Sideshow appears to be crawling back this year, so it could happen. You never know.
Did you say coming back or crawling back?
I said crawling.
I thought that's what you said.
I will never forgive them for that
know.
Horrible quote from years ago. Oh my god.
The North remembers, Aaron. Yes.
North remembers.
The blog remembers.
I remember at least.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of snarky, so we all know
you're spicy this week.
I know. I'm
you got it from me. I made you this way.
It's true. So we all know that one of our, and presumably your least favorite questions is, it's a D23 year. So that means Marvel's not going to be at Comic-Con, right? So I wrote an entire article basically about how that's bullshit. And like 80% of the years the D23 has ever been, Marvel has come. So I just wanted to point that out, that the next time you see someone say that, like, we have an article that you can just link them to and be done.
With
Just
some
FYI.
facts and figures. It's not, you didn't just randomly pull this out. You're using like logic to figure this out.
Actual facts. Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy. All right. There's all kinds of other news all over our website. I don't know if you guys are aware, but like starting sometime last week, like it's Comic-Con news season now, like for real. Mr. Eds and Dr. Jones are bringing back their signings. They've announced more signings. They announced one with Augie Banks of Monster High and more. We've had more special guests. And then our question of the week has also been continuing. So don't forget to submit for this week's, which is, let me scroll down. What is your favorite? No, that's
No,
gotta be
that's
it.
no.
Yep. Well, you can find whatever this week's question is on our
Sorry.
social. Or
We don't remember.
Yeah,
Kara works so hard on these, and we're blowing it for her. I'm so sorry.
I know. Horrible. All right. Let's move on to offsites. So yesterday's is doing a party again this year at Stone Brewing. It is once again on Tuesday, just before the convention kicks off. It is from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It is free and first come, first serve. It'll have tacos and a DJ. And then the part that I know you guys care about, they are doing event-only exclusives again this year. So the only place that you can get these exclusives is at the party. And they have heard how you feel last year went, and they have made adjustments on their end. Our like offsite listing lists out like the lineup procedures, and then just so everybody knows, there will be a 30th anniversary Stone Brewing pen again this year. Only available for purchase from the Tap House bar. So like there's the Yesterday's pens, and then there's the Stone Brewing pen. Yesterday's will have a Stone Brewing pen, but that one will only be available at the booth. I know it gets kind of confusing. So all that information is in the offsite listing, but go have fun.
And we have another party from XLE. After they announced their Ready Party 1, they now have Party Plus Ultra. It is an anime-themed party on Thursday, July 23rd from 8 to 1:30 a.m. at Park Nightclub. Tickets are on sale now, $30 for special early bird pricing, and it will go up to $40 soon. There's also a VIP package that is available for $80, which has early bird pricing, the access to the Hidden Leaf Lounge, and other exclusives. And that is also early bird pricing, and eventually will go up to $125. And there will, of course, be lots of cosplay. There's going to be an live anime cover band, Isekai Stage, and some DJs to keep it going all night.
And here's another happy, exciting thing that came out today. Bandai is coming back with a Dragon Ball offsite. This time, instead of being behind the Marriott, they are coming to the San Diego Wine and Culinary Center. And this is going to be all part of their Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 heads to San Diego Comic-Con. It's a road tour map, so they're going all the way across country. But one of the stops is San Diego Comic-Con. It's going to be from Thursday through Sunday. I don't believe we have times yet, but it's directly across the street near where Peanuts sometimes has been there. I'm trying to think of some other things that have kind of been in that same area. But they're going to have a playable demo of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 and also, I believe, some swag. Lanyard, drawstring bag, while supplies last. Yes. Photo ops. So I'm glad they're back.
Yes, I am as well. Over at the Pendry, they are doing several different pop-ups in honor of the convention. First up, they'll have a pop-up Bagels Volkswagen bus parked just outside of the hotel Thursday to Sunday, starting at 7 a.m. until sold out. So you can swing by there to pick up some breakfast before you head to the show floor. And then the donut bar, which is located inside the restaurant Provisional, will also once again be having like character-themed donuts, also Thursday through Sunday. But the one that I think people are most excited about is on Saturday, which their Nason's Beer Hall will host a special activation celebrating the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's in collaboration with Tom Holland's non-alcoholic beer brand Biro. That's going to be from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's free, first come, first serve, but fans can stop by and they'll have Spider-Man Brand New Day themed cans available only during the event, as well as immersive photo ops and appearances by Spider-Man, which, look, I am very much assuming this is a dude in a Spider-Man costume, and probably not Tom Holland himself, but crazier things have happened. Maybe it is Tom Holland himself. First of all, this would not be the first time that the Pendry has had a surprise pop-up with celebrities. That Silo activation a couple years ago popped up over there. And second of all, it would also not even be the first time that Sony would bring out a Spider-Man actor to a random place. Didn't Andrew Garfield show up at Basic Pizza a couple years back? I think he did. So yeah, it's not impossible, but it's probably just a dude in a Spider-Man costume.
Yes, likely.
We're trying not to get our hopes up, but
look, it's a non-zero chance.
It's a non-zero chance.
It's a non-zero chance. Is what it is.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. We're not going to top that.
I didn't even realize it until you said it. I was like, oh, Biro, zero. Reading it wasn't the same as hearing you say it. So. And the last offsite we have to talk about is close to my heart. It is the PalmaCon, the Helen Woodward Animal Center PalmaCon Pause Play event. This takes place the Tuesday before Comic-Con. So Tuesday, July 21st. Is that right? Tuesday, July 21st. Yes. And this is at Balboa Park in the President's Way lawn there. That's right near the Air and Space Museum. They're going to have 3 different competitions for the dogs in the costume. Actually, I shouldn't just say dogs because it is open to all animals. Pets. And yes, pets and pet and human combinations as well. So you can strut your stuff on the catwalk with your cat if you wanted to. But you can register now if you'd like to participate, but it is free and open to just come and watch. There's all sorts of activities that they're going to have going on there. They'll have trivia booth. They're going to have a merch booth. They're going to have a Lego booth where you can build. They're going to have supplied bricks there, and you can build a masterpiece. They're going to have merch there for sale. They're going to have all kinds of fun and animals. And me, I will also be there.
I will be there too, but I will not be a judge. So
No.
It's mostly Aaron. Yes.
I will be once again passing judgment on the animals.
Yes. All right, real quick. We've got a couple of questions in the chat that I'm just going to run down real quick.
Yes.
Okay, Mike Nelson asked, will Hallmark return to D23 this year? I don't know, but they said that they weren't doing fan conventions this year in general, so I would guess no. Becca asked, any Voodoo Ranger news? Not that I can announce, but I think that's your answer in and of itself. JP asked, any word on the pens prices, meaning yesterday's? I know, but I feel like their pens are always $10. So I feel like it's probably going to be $10. Do we have any other questions? I think that's it. All right, moving right along to exclusives. Let's start with Funko.
Time for Funko.
All right, so Funko started their announcements today, and I was definitely hoping we would get more than 5 but we'll see how many days they make us do this. So Funko is back. They will once again be part of the online exclusives portal, and they were nice enough to give us a date. So the online exclusives portal is going to open on July 7th. But they announced several Funko Pops today, including Radiant Black, Geiger, and then the ones that people are most excited about for sure are the absolute Batmans, which include Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. And those three are limited to 1,000 each and are $40 a pop. So yeah,
More to come. Let's see. We got 2 more exclusives. I'm assuming you talked about the first exclusive from Jada on the last podcast. So we got 2 more exclusives from Jada Toys. The first one is it's a whole set of battle-worn head sculpts, 19 different characters for Ultra Street Fighter 2. It's called the You Lose accessory set, in a beautiful, beautiful box. And then they also announced the Invincible Battle Damage Deluxe 1/12 scale action figure inspired by season 3 finale. I'm sorry for the spoiler if you haven't finished it. But this is going to be from Wave 1, and it comes with 4 interchangeable head sculpts, interchangeable hands, and an exclusive Bloody Conquest head sculpt, which is going to be compatible with a Conquest figure that they're going to have in Wave 1. It's going to be $40, and like all of Jada's stuff, you're going to be able to get it at the booth, which is $49, or they are also going to have a limited number for pre-order beginning on July 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if you are worried about getting there, you always have that other chance. And they do have a daily allotment too. So if you miss out on Thursday, you can try again on Friday. If you miss out on Friday, you can try again on Saturday.
Yep. All right. So next up, we have Mattel, who showed off several of their exclusives. So we got their Hot Wheels, basically, which they've got a K-pop Demon Hunters Porsche, which will be $25, and it looks like Derpy the Tiger. So that's really fun. There's a Stranger Things Power and Light van, and it comes with the kids on their bikes, and it's like as the van is like flying overhead. So that one's pretty cool. That one's $40 for the set. And then there is a 40th anniversary of Top Gun set, which includes both Maverick and Goose's F-14 Tomcat and the Enemy Mi-628, along with a display stand so you can like recreate the maneuver. And that one is $35. And then did we really not cover this one last week? I guess we did not. All right. They also announced a WWE Rock and Wrestling Connection 3-pack, which celebrates the 1984 moment when Roddy Piper interviewed pop star Cyndi Lauper, and then Captain Lou Albano crashed the party. This is, in my understanding, like the first time that Cyndi Lauper's been an action figure, so I think that's actually really cool. But the set is going to be $80, and it's really fun. So we love that for them.
That TV box is pretty great.
Absolutely. But they will also be part of the lottery when that opens on July 7th. So if you want to try for those, make sure that you sign up. And then they will also have a limited number of exclusives available online starting July 23rd.
And next up, we have the Loyal Subjects. And they have a few exclusives, including the Mask Thunderhawk hologram, which features Matt Tracker's transforming car as a glowing computer simulation. This will be $75. And we have the Condor hologram, which will be $50. And next up, we have the My Pet Monster SDCC Variant Edition. It is a 14-inch tall deluxe edition. It will be $60. And finally, we have the Popples Big Kick Popple SDCC edition, and that will be $35.
Very sports themed this year, I gotta say. I was a little confused by that.
I don't know.
I'm feeling the soccer one. Like that one.
I'm feeling the soccer.
That one sort of makes sense to me. Yeah.
But very sports themed. Yep. And I just don't know that we're a very sports crowd.
Some of us somewhere. I mean, we have to have something to do on the off season, right?
Yeah,
Something.
exactly.
Yes. All right. So Monogram, very popular Monogram, has announced a few more things. First, we've got the Pee Wee Herman exclusive 3D foam bag clip. This is a 3-piece, so it's got Cherry, Pee Wee, and Terry. It's going to be $25, and it's limited to 200 pieces, which sure doesn't seem like enough given all the Pee Wee love recently. They've also got their Toy Story Deluxe gift set. So this is a gift set that comes in a clamshell that's reminiscent of the old Pixar and Disney movies. It's got Woody and Buzz Lightyear 3D foam bag clips, a themed lanyard with enamel pins. And that is limited to 360 pieces, and that will be $40. We've got the SpongeBob SquarePants lanyard and pin set. This is, in my opinion, one of the best values you can get anywhere because you're getting like a couple of pins and a lanyard, and it's only $25. They always do like the best properties and the coolest pins. Yeah, 250 pieces, $20. It's pretty great. And that's it so far this week, I think, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Good deal.
All right. So up next, we have Chris Mays. So first of all, his pre-orders are actually going to open tomorrow, Wednesday, June 24th at 9 a.m. So if you want any of his items, make sure that you pay attention to that because you can choose... for most items, you can choose either shipping or booth pickup only. He does have a couple of con-only items, so make sure you're paying attention to that. But let's go through his last couple of announcements. So for Friernan Beyond Journey's End, he has a sticker for $4 and then a print for $18, or you can get both for $20. And then his original character, Mr. Bones, has a really fun glow-in-the-dark pen for $14. I think this one's really cute. And then we all love Severance, but he's got a sticker of Milchuk that says Devour Feculence, and it's in Shepherd Fairy's, like, his Obey poster style. So that's really fun. And then for X-Men, he's celebrating with a fun mashup for Aladdin, and it's a whole new X instead of a whole new world, and they're riding along on a carpet. That one's going to be $10. It's 5x5. He also is bringing back his premiere pack, which is basically like if you want everything that Chris is bringing, you can get absolutely everything for just $200, which is actually over $40 in savings. So again, all those launch pre-order tomorrow, 9 a.m. Set your calendars.
And then we have BB Create. They are bringing some of their fun pins that are Star Wars themed, but with a touch of the San Diego Convention Center and Comic-Con. Yes, Aaron?
More sports.
More sports.
More sports.
So much sports.
First of all, they will be at booth 1332. And first up in the pins, we have Death Star at the San Diego Convention Center. This will be $15 and is limited to 300 pieces. And then we have Vader Loves Comic Conventions, also $15 and limited to 250. And SDP.8. A City Connect 2.0 edition, also $15 and limited to 250. And finally, we have San Diego City Saber, the Dia de los Muertos edition, and this one is 400 pieces and $20.
Then let's talk Val. Val Hochberg is back, and don't forget, she's in a new location this year. She is moving on up in the world over to booth 1528. So that is where you will find her. But she announced several items this week, starting with, so the week before she had announced a Care Bear sticker sheet. Now she has a Care Bear Cousins sticker sheet, which is available for $6, and it's limited to only 20 sheets per day. So if you want that, make sure you head to her booth. She's also got a new keychain with K-Pop Demon Hunters Derpy, which is $12. She also started showing off her original artwork, which is not pictured here, but I think we all know what my favorite is, which is I got her to watch my show, Interview with Vampire, and she made a super cute little sticker sheet. Also $6, also limited to $20 a day, and I freaking love this. So I think no one is surprised.
No.
Nobody.
Not at all.
Nobody. I hope you all enjoyed too that I was able today to even turn that like Pendry announcement into work at some vampires. I like searched in our media gallery for the word Pendry, and I was like, well, that one has the vampires on the wrap. That's obviously what we're using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's come out vampire. Prepared.
Everything.
We've got some announcements from Beast Kingdom. They are coming back to $28.49, and they have a whole lineup. So we're going to start out with Lobo, a heavy metal Lobo. This is the dynamic action heroes, a 1/9 scale of a Lobo, 22 points of articulation for $99. We've got Superman, Son of Tomorrow. He's in the last Son of Krypton in his classic comic-inspired look. It's a metallic kind of a shiny blue, metallic sheen. Also 22 points of articulation on him. He's limited to 1,000 pieces. He is $59, or he will be $59. Batman, Dark Knight Detective. He is another one that has the metallic sheen all over him, except for his beautiful fabric cape. Let's see. Also limited to 1,000 pieces and $59. And then we've got Reverse Flash. He's going to be $59. He's got the best set of teeth in the whole DC universe, it looks like, with the 22 points of articulation. None of them are in his teeth, thank goodness. Four pairs of interchangeable hands, all sorts of fun stuff. Same thing, $59. And then we've got Dark Side, all in special edition. He lots of hand parts, 22 points of articulation, a weapon hand, 1,000 pieces is what he's limited to, $96. And then Black Suit Superman, resurrected from the archives, it says, bringing back one of the most beloved alternate looks in Superman history. They will have limited copies of that one. We don't have a price on that one. They've got a two-part Jurassic Park set, Jurassic Park 2-pack set. And that's recreating the T-Rex and toilet scene that everybody loves. And this is one of their mini Egg Attack line pieces, and it's $29. Another Egg Attack piece is the Hulkbuster hologram version, and that will be also available. That's everything. It's a lot for them.
It's a lot, for sure. All right, so let's move on to Patrick. So we got a couple of things from him, starting with a 6x10 print called Unbearable, which is based on, in my opinion, the best horror movie of the year, Obsession. So this one's going to be $20, and like all of his pieces, it has so many super fun details if you know the movie. And then he also has a Heated Rivalry print set called Heat Advisory. This is going to be 5 little 4x4 prints, and it's basically him bringing back his 10 can series where like they're interchangeable, and each character is like holding up a 10 can, so you can mix and match, and they can be talking to different characters. And I think that's really fun. So that one is $40, and it also comes with a free bonus, this tuna melt needs to be reheated sticker.
I'm sure there's still more to come from Patrick too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Always. And he's been working hard on those originals too. Kid Robot did a second wave of San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. The first thing they did for drop number 2 was a cosplay Grimace. This is a Grimace plush, and he is dressed as the Hamburglar. He's about 13 inches tall, limited to just 500 pieces, one per household. You can pick it up at the booth, or you can order it online now for delivery after the convention. He runs $42.99. And then they've got 3 other funny plushes that they're debuting for San Diego Comic-Con. And one of them is Birdie, the early bird. Then we've got a Hamburglar, and then we've got Grimace without the Hamburglar costume. Those are about 7.5 inches tall, and they run $17.99 a piece. And all of those are also going to be available at the convention, or you can pre-order them right now.
I think these are so stinking cute.
Yeah, that Grimace, he's funny.
I love it. I love it. All right, James, take it away.
We got Factory Entertainment. As usual, all of their exclusives are available for pre-order on their website, as well as purchasing in person at booth 2743. And first up, we have the Star Trek Uhura limited edition prop replica earpiece. This one will be limited to 500 pieces and is $89.99. Then we have the Star Trek M5 computer scaled prop replica. This will be measuring 5 inches from end to end. It will be $69.99. And then we have the Lord of the Rings Sting LARP style stunt replica. The stunt replica is crafted from durable soft foam and has an internal support structure. So basically you can have some fun playing with this one and not get injured. This one will be $49.99. Also available will be the Lobo Sickle LARP style stunt prop replica. This one will be $79.99, and this one measures 59 inches. So it's big. And then we have some posters from artist Russell Walks. He will be at booth 2137. And first up, we have Darth Maul Shadow Lord, a 24x36 poster limited to 125 hand-numbered pieces. It will be $100. And it is available at the booth for pickup, but you can order it online right now. And also available is Metropolis, the City of Tomorrow, and Gotham City, where every shadow has a story. Both of these are also 24x36. They are $65 each, or you can get the pair for $110, and they will be available in limited quantities at the booth.
I just think these are beautiful.
They are.
Yeah, I put these on here just because I loved them, and I'm like, I hope everybody click through to like fully see, especially like that Metropolis and Gotham City one. I think these are beautiful.
Yes, they are. They're very cool looking.
Well, we've got some exclusives from Aaron Reynolds of Effin' Birds. If you have some very strong opinions about AI art, which I know a lot of us do, he's got some things for you. The first one is an enamel pin, limited to just 500 pieces for $12. He'll have a bunch of other pins, so if you want to mix and match, you can get 5 pins for $50. There is also a bookmark that he'll have that has the same sentiment on there, and that will be free to the first 2,000 visitors who stop by his booth, which I have failed to mention. That is booth 2049. In addition, one of his other new pins, you can use this one with the mix and match offer from above, is try not to set your dick on fire, which is just solid evidence all around. This one is limited to 300 pieces. Another free item that you can pick up is the "It Turns Out That Everything Is Shit." It's promoting his upcoming postcard collection. He's got 2,000 of those, and he's going to be giving those out. And he is going to have a lot of other brand new items. These aren't necessarily San Diego Comic-Con exclusive items, but they will be debuts, like the debut of the 2027 calendars, a daily calendar, and then also the weekly, monthly calendars, and the aforementioned postcard set. And he will also have copies of his Greetings from the Effin' Birds postcard set. But the most exciting thing that I wanted to mention is what is also probably one of the rarest things that he's ever offered. He is bringing 40 pieces of his original artwork from the Oracle card set And the Oracle card set's not set to come out until 2027. But these are actual originals, finished card. Hey, all beautiful original artwork pieces. They'll be running 400 to 500, depending on the bird. So I'm pretty excited about those two. And
I just love what Aaron does. Yeah,
What?
I think these are so fun.
Yes, and he is. If you go to our page and you scroll all the way down, you can also see some of the fun remarks that he's going to do. He has a $10 add-on option that's going to give you a single color goose head that he'll draw in there. But he's also doing finger painting too, a finger painted baby gosling for $50. So you want to check those out.
Yes.
Very cool. And honestly, if anyone else is like me and tries to do like a little holiday shopping ahead of time, Aaron's booth is like one of the best ones to do that at. Knock out some Christmas presents.
For sure. Not items you will find anywhere else.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right. So Martin Sue has announced several more prints. At first, he is celebrating the cast of The Boys, except he's reimagined them as, guess what? Cats. Of course he has. So this is an 11x14 print on 100-pound matte cover stock, and it's limited to only 69 pieces, which is teeny tiny. So it's going to be available for $35. And if you want the original, also keep an eye out when he launches for pre-orders. But I really like this one. Honestly, I think of what he's announced, it's probably my favorite so far. He has also done a pop culture and cats mashup for Stranger Things. So his Stranger Cats is also an 11x14 for $35. This one gets a few more copies at $99. And same thing, the original will be available later. And then he has fallen as in love with Project Hail Mary as I have. And he has this super cute little Sakura Wishes Rocky and Grace 5x7 print set of 2. One features just Rocky by himself. One features Grace and Rocky beneath some cherry blossoms. And then those will be $25. And then if you haven't seen the teases of like the 11x14 piece he's been working on, honestly, like I think it might be my favorite thing that Martin's ever done. And he's working on a vampire print, and I'm way more into the Project Hail Mary one. What vampire? I think we can all guess, but no. So I cannot wait for him to show us the full 11x14 one. All right, James, take it away.
Okay, finally we have Spirit Jersey. They will be showing up at Comic-Con at booth 4201, and they will also have a small booth at the Lucasfilm Pavilion at 2913. They have a wide range this year, including they will have a few. Looks like a couple of the traveling exclusives that will be available at select conventions, but will actually never be online. So showing up at the main booth at 4201 will be the original crew neck Spirit Jersey X-Men for $90. The Kuchikopi version for $90, and the Bob's Burgers Mineral Wash crew neck for $90. And then first up of the traveling exclusives is the Mineral Wash Relax Tea Sauron. That one will be $40. And then at the Lucasfilm booth, there's the Jar Jar Binks original crew neck, which is $90. The Cal Kestis Mineral Wash crew neck, also $90. And finally, the other traveling convention exclusive, the Mandalorian helmet crystal dye crew neck, also $90.
I love that X-Men one.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be cute in that.
The Lord of the Rings shirt is really nice too.
Yes.
Yeah, a bunch of these are. All right, so that does it for slides, but there's so many other exclusives on the site. So let's see how fast Carrie can run through these. All right, Tamashii Nations, they announced their pre-order information, which is going to open on June 25th for online pre-order. So if you want those, get on that. UCC Distributing showed off more of their Dungeon Crawler Carl exclusives. We got a closer look at those, including the packaging. So check that out. Alex Ross has been announcing a ton of exclusives. He's doing these things for like his Marvel Origins Bones series. So he's got all kinds of things about the origins of all these different Marvel characters. Fat Rabbit Farm, their first round of exclusives launched tonight for pre-ordering, which includes button-downs, crossbody bags, and hats. JYKL Day has been showing off prints for like Spider-Man and Transformers. CGC has so much going on, including exclusive pens, signings with people like the Rick and Morty cast members, My Hero Academia cast members, and more. You can find all that information on our site. Kyoto has shown off a figure and then like an accessory kit. And then Kid Heroes has started to announce their exclusives for Anito Book of Entropy. So there is like a standard copy of that and then an Ultra Metal edition. And then they've also got a second exclusive for the second one. You can find all that, guess what, on our site. Trends International has tons of Star Wars prints. These are beautiful and by folks like Russell Walks, who we showed off earlier, Andrew Switzer, Joe Karani, and more. And then PSA also has just an absolute ton of stuff, you guys, like so much stuff. They're doing giveaways at the booth. They've got a set of PSA and Absolute Batman bundles. They've got an Intergon Universe blind box. They've got an Invincible collection, like so much stuff. Definitely go check that out. Atomic Toy Box is bringing some Garbage Pail Kids blind bag patches. Rob Liefeld has another exclusive. He is bringing back his Evangeline series with a Comic-Con exclusive. True Edge showed off some Alex Ross prints as well. Nucleus is back, and we've got a list of their artists who will be there, and it's folks like Scott Lava, or Scott C. Scott Lava's his social name. And then Koto Bukia is doing some giveaway cards again at the booth. So again, everything's on our site. Go read those. Go read our Under the Tents. It's all on there.
That was 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Good job, Carrie.
I was close.
You were very good. We had a lot. There was a lot there.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I thought that was how many hours we've been and minutes.
No. I was trying to play
almost, it's almost hit that though.
Yeah.
It has.
Oh my God, you are right. I'm gonna be quiet now. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, I'm like my computer is at 7% battery right now, so either I need to go get my charger or we need to hook up this shit up.
Okay.
All right. Let's wrap it up then.
Yes.
Okay, so quick little housekeeping items. Yes, we're doing friendship bracelets again. No, I don't know the times. Yes, make them. If you appreciate the work that we do have a Patreon and all the money goes back into it. And if you are on our Patreon, hang out us this Thursday. So please come join us.
Yeah. Come and chat.
Yeah.
That's going to wrap it up for today. We will be back next Tuesday and for 3 more weeks leading up to Comic-Con 2026. Next week, we'll have a special guest that has joined us for many years now. And who is that, Carrie?
It is Jermaine Lucier, who is the senior reporter for Gizmodo and IO9. And we freaking love when Jermaine comes on because he basically like emails all the studios and then comes on and is like, this is what I found out for you guys. We love it.
Yep.
We like it better when it's good news.
Absolutely. We do, but we'll take any news. You can sign up for a newsletter. The link is at the bottom of our site, and we are sending those out every week now.
All right. And thank you again for joining us. Aaron, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on all the social medias at Bavarian Aaron. Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter, but unless you want to talk about the Vampire Lestat, like don't. But I'm Carrie Dixon. James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am everywhere online at Dan Regal except Twitch and YouTube. I am the Dan Regal. I am on every week on the Overexerted Disney Lorcana podcast. And actually this week, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific, I have an exclusive card to reveal from the latest Disney Lorcana set. So if you would like to see it, tune in. If you don't. It's that simple.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Thank you. Yes,
congrats for that.
It's a very fun little 3-minute video that I made in about 10 minutes. So it's going to be awesome production. Thank you to Beth, our producer, for editing the show and my reveal video and all the other things that get this podcast done.
We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up on the blog, or you can search for SDConCast. If you'd like what you have heard, please give us a review. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio and Spotify, and those links will be in the show notes.
If you wish to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at info@sdccblog.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and everybody, go Shorba!
Vampire Lestat.
From the disembodied voice. Holy cow, that was long.
So
We
long.
have so
I'm
much
sorry.
news. I'm sorry too. I'm
So
sorry. I
much
had a